Jai Sri Krishna. Let's start discussion on very important topic that is the business analyst in age of quantum computing. So how the role and responsibilities and the skill set will change by business analyst in the age of quantum computing. So guys, if you're interested in the field of business analyst, quant analyst or quantum computing or AI MLs, so please do like and subscribe my channel. So I'm creating videos on these hot topics in the futures, and I'll definitely help you to get better salary jobs in the market. So let's start discussion on this topic. So let's move on the first slide, which is the introductions of business analyst and why the quantum computing is different. So what is a business analyst? So you should know what is a business analyst. The business analyst is a professional who identify the business need and determine the solution for the business problem. So basically the business analyst is a gap between the technical team and functional team. So the quantum computing, it comes under the the technical team, and the quantum computing technologies, how the business problems will they get solved. So to develop the solutions or to develop the the systems that solve the quantum system that solve the business problems. So that's the role of business analyst, who should understand the technology terms or the technology jargons in the quantum computing, the development of SDLC of quantum computing, the waterfall or the agile methodology in the field of quantum computing, and to get the development done with the quantum computing with the business ready and solve the business problem. So that level of thinking you should have as a business analyst. So let's come the requirement gathering, to gather the requirement from the business team, and how that requirement we solve with using the quantum computing techniques and the process analysis. So once the quantum computing is implemented, how the process will work. So how it is, suppose any process you can take for the fraud detection or the transaction monitoring system. So what are the user interact with the system, what problem they are solving, what are the manual tasks or what are the mandatory tasks. So it should understand the process with using the quantum computing, and the solution validation, how that solution will work, how to validate that solution, and the stakeholder management with to prepare the RACI matrix or high influence or high interest matrix. So in RACI matrix, accountable, consult, inform, and responsible person. So to prepare these matrix, so these are the key roles and responsibilities of business analyst, and that align with quantum computing techniques. So why quantum computing is different than the classical computing, and what the leverage or what are the benefits we take from the quantum computing. So quantum computers are qubits instead of classical bytes. So classical computer work on the bytes 0 and 1, leveraging the quantum principle like superpositions, it's and the entanglement to perform the calculations in fundamentally new way and very fast, and it is consuming huge volume, high volume of data within the second, or which is a speedily or the parallel that will happen, and this allow to tackle the problem that currently intractable for even the most powerful super computer. So that's the benefits of the quantum computing. So let's move on the next slide, the challenges, what the the classical gap and the quantum gap in the currently we have, and how the BA will involve in that challenges, and how to solve the business problem into the technical requirements or the business requirement into the technical requirements, and get done the development done from the development team, and so I'll give them the business to use that and to increase the business speed or efficiency or optimum the business way. So the classical gap is a traditional project. The business analyst translate the business need into the technical requirement for the IT teams. It's classical, he will translate the business requirement or the business problem or the business goal into the the business need in the technical requirements for the IT team, and get the development from the technical team, and do the testing, UAT testing, SIT testing, and deploy in the production environment. So that's the journey of the BA in the traditional. So but in the quantum gap, so what he or she do in the quantum techniques, or how he perform the quantum with the quantum computing, the the gap is wider. It's a huge gap in that thing. The business leader may not understand the quantum mechanism or the quantum theory, how the quantum will work, and the quantum science may not understand the business objective or the business goal, how they will work. So there is, huge gap between the business leaders are not understand the quantum, or the quantum scientists are not understand the business. So business analyst must become a translate and trans strategies that thing. So he should understand the business jargons or the business word, and the quantum scientists understand techniques or the quantum scientist word in the business, and he need to bridge, or he need to bridge between the gap between these two teams, or understand, make them they sure be on the same page. Or there may be new the business requirement document or the quantum requirement document or the technical requirement document that need to be created by the business analyst. So these are the things. So let's discuss on the key roles and responsibilities of business analyst in the quantum age, or the quantum computing techniques, how he or she perform or work in the quantum computing. So let's first, he will, the problem identification and framing, and then the building the business case. Okay, these are the two things the BA will work. So the problem identification and framing. So identify the business problem that are quantum ready, or that the solution will, to perform by the quantum techniques. To identify the business problems is, or that problem solution we can do for the classical computer or the quantum computing. Once the BA will, analyze that the solution will we do with the quantum computing, the meaning they are too complex and time consuming for the classical computers. So identify such problem, and example include the complex optimization problem in logistic and supply chain management for simultaneous and drug discovery and material science. These are the problems the BA will identify, and that will provide the solution from the quantum computing, and frame this problem in a way that quantum specialists can understand. So prepare documents or the process flows, or the flow charts that will quantum computers can understand, or the quantum computer what looking that your written document, the quantum computers will, or the quantum scientists will understand, and they start the development with this document. So framing or creating such documents with the business analyst, and building the business cases, assess the problem, return on investment for the quantum solutions. So to generate how much the amount will the business will invest it in that product, or how much the return that will get from that investment. So return on investment, this involve the feasibility study, risk analysis, or the root cause analysis, or the computing cost or benefit of the quantum approach and the classical approach. So if they certain techniques we they are the classical approach, what the benefit they get, it's the feasible, or the quantum technique they use, what are the benefits that get. So prepare the business cases, and to prepare the charts, which technology or which methods, or the quantum computing or the classical approach will benefit for the businesses, and work on the stakeholder to quantify the value of quantum solution, and could unlock such reduce the cost and faster time to market. So these are the key roles and responsibilities BA in the field of quantum computing. So let's discuss on the key skill for a quantum BA. So if you want to be a BA in the quantum field, so what are the skill set you have, like a technical fluency and the soft skill you should understand. So in technical, you should understand the quantum literacy, understand the basic principle of quantum mechanism, like qubit, superposition, entanglement. So these are the key, or the futures of the principles of the quantum, like qubit, superposition, and the entanglement, and how they apply for computing and how they will work. And the domain knowledge, guys, it's and the most important. So you should understand the domain knowledge, like the retail domain, supply chain domain, or the computer science domain, or the banking domain, BFSI domain, insurance domain, where you are implementing the quantum skills or the quantum techniques. To understand the industry like finance, pharmaceutical, logistic, it is the special challenges for the quantum computing. So you should have the domain knowledge and the quantum computing side knowledge, or AI quantum computing technique knowledge, and the soft skill communications, the ability to explain the complex quantum concepts to non-stakeholder business leader to translate the business need into the technical specification for the quantum researcher. So you should have the great communication skills, so understand the non-technical or non-understandable quantum techniques, or the business leader to how the quantum will satisfy their business problem, and how they are leverage the quantum techniques or the business requirement or the business problem to explain the quantum scientist or the quantum researcher or the quantum teams or the quantum expertise. These are to fill gap between both of them, and collaboration, working effectively with adverse interdisciplinary team that include the physician, quantum scientists, and the business leaders. So make sure they all the on same page, and make sure a collaboration between them and help them to solve the business problem. So quantum BA in action. So let's discuss on the case study. For example, how you should work and how you should follow the process of the quantum computing. A global logistic company, suppose the problem of that global logistic company is optimizing the thousands of shipment daily and considering a dynamic variable like traffic, weather, fuel. This is the combinational combinatorial optimization problem that classical computing struggle with solution. So they are moving for to the quantum computing techniques and the quantum we will use. So BA role in such problem, or how the BA will work in this area. So identify this is the potential quantum use case, and how the quantum solution will implement that thing, and it is the the quantum solution use case. So work on the logistic and IT team to define the specific variable and the constraint, how the process will work, and how the IT team will face challenges, and how they are solved with that the quantum computing, what are the roles involved the quantum, and what the in that process where the quantum technique we are apply, and what where the classical technique will apply, and how the quantum algorithm will solve that problem. And the collaboration with the quantum team to build the proof of concept using the quantum optimization algorithms or the quantum techniques, to give them the requirement or the process or the flow charts, how they are apply there the quantum techniques, and presenting the result to leadership and demonstrate a potential 50% reduction in the fuel, to prepare the feasibility study or root cause analysis, or to do the the requirement elicitation technique, requirement gathering techniques, or to do the enterprise analysis to collect such requirement, and prepare the cost effective or the return on investment charts. So these are the the BA will do that things to understand these things. So let's move on the last slide, that is the future of the quantum BA, how that will look like, and how the BA will involvement in such things. So as a quantum technology matures, the role of business analyst will become more even more critical. So it should be 360-degree way thinkings. The all the quantum computing or the quantum technology will come into the pictures or more usable, and there is a huge requirement for the business analyst roles, guys, for the quantum computing technique, because the business analyst is a person who can understand the business or the domain of that business, or the quantum computing techniques, or the IT technologies, or the IT way, or the AI ML things. So that's the important or the very required skill set for the quantum computing BA. The focus will shift from the experimental use cases to scaling and implementing the quantum solution across the enterprise, and the quantum will leverage the word, and the quantum BA will be the forefront of the digital transformation, ensuring that quantum computing deliver the tangible and strategic value to the businesses, and they will use the quantum computing techniques. So that's the future of the quantum BA, and you should be work on the quantum BA sites and understand the quantum things. So that's end of this video. If you like my efforts and my content, so please like and subscribe my channel, so that's motivate me to create more such videos for you guys. Thanks once again.